charities.
Yes.
I originally tried to get you on to talk about the psychology with the charities, and particularly with the adverts that you get on in the daytime. Give £3 a month, yada yada yada. Do this, and even because I know people who are intelligent people. I know people who are who know exactly what I know, that when they're doing. My sister runs a group. She's got her business is fitness, so she has a fitness group and she does classes. And so every so often they do this race for life thing. I'm always there saying, Race for Life, all you're doing, you're raising money for the people that are running this. So we've got somebody at Cancer Research who's the CEO, who's on 250,000 quid a year. And then we've got 60 people over £100,000 a year at Cancer Research. So that's, it's £6.25 million for a start that's got to be raised. I mean, do you think what's your take on that? Because for me, people aren't doing it because they're trying to raise money for good causes. I think people are doing it just to try to up themselves.
Yeah, well, how cynical do you want to be? Right, okay, let's be not cynical. Okay, people do it because they feel it's a good thing. They feel that basically they can give back in the only way that they feel they can do. Now, let's be cynical. It makes them look good, doesn't it? It makes them look good to other people. It's something that you can tell people that it makes you look good. And it's the easiest way that you can do something like that. You're doing something essentially that you enjoy or you get some secondary benefit out of, but you can position that as a very altruistic thing. And I just want to, I'm not having a go at everyone. It's a sliding scale. Okay, it genuinely is sliding scale. There obviously are some people that just really believe that what they're doing is going to actually bring some good to the world. Okay, and then on the other end of the scale, there's people that oppose it. You can't tar everybody with a singular brush as to motive.
No.
There could be something completely different. Like the reason that she's doing it is because there's this really hunky guy that's also doing it, and she's basically desperately trying for to make him ask her out. Like there could be, do you know what I mean? There could be some other reason that people are doing stuff. But if you're talking on sort of like brass tacks and stuff like that, I would suggest it's probably a sliding scale between genuinely wanting to do some good, and perhaps either not knowing that there are maybe better ways to do that, or just giving up and going, this is the only way that I can foresee to do it in any effective way. And on the other end of the scale is people that basically are doing it because that's the kind of person that they want to present themselves to the world as being. I mean, there's a big problem with that on social media as well. I get kind of annoyed with people posting sort of like charitable adverts and stuff. It doesn't tend to happen as much anymore because I think a lot of people basically got sick of it, because it's like, that is literally the least that you can do. Like, are you mad? Do you think I don't know that these charities exist? Like, what are you doing? All you're doing is putting a label on yourself, saying, I'm the sort of person that might be interested in being a nice person in this particular type of way. But again, that is sliding scale. I'm sure there are some people that are genuinely involved in these things and think that they're working. But they certainly prey on these emotions. That's what the charities do. Whether you think that these are good charities or bad charities, is really different.
They do. I can see some dignity. When I'm talking about these cancer, I've got nobody in my family's died of cancer. Nobody, not a single person. Right. So I can't understand why my sister. I've got a very rare condition that nobody knows about. And yet she's not raising money for that, or she's not doing anything to raise awareness of that. So therefore, I see that, and I know this is a criticism, but I see that as her just simply wanting to promote her business and using the cancer thing because cancer's it's a fashionable thing.
Absolutely.
Her brother's got a condition that is so rare that nobody is even looking into it, and yet she's not trying to raise awareness of that. She's just simply doing that to just, as far as I'm concerned, is all she's doing that for is to raise to raise the profile of her business. So that's my problem with that.
I can't possibly speak on that particular situation because I don't know it, but I will take your word for it because I believe you. You may well be right because that's the point. People that do charity are good people, aren't they? Charity, man, charity. Like that's what I mean. That's one of the most despicable things about the way that celebrities attach themselves to charities. Aside from the very obvious promotion of their own particular brand. What a lot of people don't realise is, if you make a charitable donation, it's tax deductible.
Yeah.
So, like, he gave 100 grand to charity. That's 100 grand tax he doesn't have to pay. Okay, and he's got 100 grand's worth of advertising out of that. So, that's a very cynical way of looking at it, but it's true. So I mean, there's lots of different things, isn't there? There's a tug on the heartstrings, and there's this could happen to you in a few years' time. Like me and my friends used to sit around, like, particularly our friends' older brothers, whenever the heart attack and sort of adverts come on. Quick, turn the channel over quickly. We don't want to watch this. It's all a bit real. But that's the point of the advert, isn't it? It's supposed to make you terrified. So you'll sit there and go, shit, if I give them £1, they might develop this technology to save my life. Now, here's the thing. It really depends on how cynical you want to be. How do adverts work? Adverts work by appealing to the reptilian brain and then giving you a justification for it, an intellectual justification for it. Okay, best one of that is a Hummer, right? Okay, it's a weapon. The reason you're buying a Hummer or a Land Rover or anything like that is so that you're the most powerful thing on the road. Let's not piss about. That's exactly why you're doing it. The reason that you'll tell people for it is because you've got kids. You need to protect them, which is technically true, right? It's technically true, but you could protect them by driving more sensibly. Like there are other ways of protecting them. That's just an intellectual justification. So let's look at the way that charities do. Like, well, the appeals to the reptilian brain. You're gonna die. Okay, what's the intellectual justification? Well, it's very simple and straightforward with that. I don't want to die. I can spare a couple of quid. It might help. That's it. And then the other one tugs on the heartstrings. Okay. Now, again, this depends with all of these things as well. It very much depends on how cynical you want to be. There are people that will argue that basically all advertising boils back down to sleeping with the opposite sex. So basically, like, why are you giving to charity, or what's it suggesting? If you're a nice person, you're this is what a nice person would do, and a nice person is more likely to attract the opposite sex. That's very, very glib, but there are people who've made that argument.